Whether you manage projects and programs, are involved with them, or are impacted by projects and programs, we hope this series is of help to you. Using pragmatics and practicalities with shared expertise, activities which are often just assumed but whose absence impacts the delivery of projects are addressed. Time is also taken to consider areas of project whose importance and significance are often overlooked or underestimated. The theme for this session is about acceptance, often of the least worst option. Even with a way forward, acceptance can be difficult to realize, especially where budget, resources, and schedules impact. For those who did the planning and business case, this is often the hardest. Aligned to decision making, leadership, and governance, as well as budget, schedule, and resources and scope, is acceptance is one of those aspects which is integral to a project, but is hard to define and to achieve, partly because it manifests in many ways and partly because of the implications of acceptance. Whether it is within project leadership or within areas of a project or the stakeholders, acceptance is required across projects, like acceptance of decisions, or for risk acceptance, or accepting a change request, or acceptance of a project being in red and that remediation is required. Acceptance is often necessary but can be difficult to realize. Acceptance can be the selection of the least worst option, which brings its own challenges. Acceptance often requires project-related and or project considerations which impact, including need. Understanding and identifying a need is part of acceptance. The need is often beyond the direct project needs because personal aspects like careers come into the need. Recognition of a need is part of the acceptance, but also requires an aspect of rationalization as well as realization. This includes recognition, the need, as well as an aspect of rationalization. It takes time to realize the extent and or impact of changes required that may be necessary in a project. Those who are not close to an area often need time and ongoing engagement to realize a situation. Realization includes a component of rationalization of the project need and or the personal understanding what is needed, why, the impacts to the project and the personal consequences are part of the understanding. Someone who underestimated a business case can understand the project issue, but may struggle with the personal impacts. Ownership. Taking ownership can bring rewards as well as challenges. Ownership can be a way to claim credit, but often people obfuscate ownership because of the inherent risk. Options. There are often a range of options to consider and to implement. By waiting, options can be reduced. It often takes time to understand the options and the impacts. It is the acceptance of an option which is required for a project to implement. But acceptance of an option can depend on the personal aspects as well. Rationalisation. It is the ability to rationalise, which often leads to acceptance of a decision or an option or of the course of events required. Rationalisation includes the personal factors and ties back to ownership and the opportunity provided. The combination of need, rationalisation, and options, opportunity, leads to an acceptance in combination with other factors. There can be an acceptance of inaction, which can be difficult to manage, but acceptance is not the same as inaction. A decision to defer or to take no action is an acceptance to which there is an implementation and a response as circumstances change to be managed. Acceptance is needed for decisions to be made and implemented, which is part of getting projects across the line. Thank you for your time, and may your investment be returned. Please share with others. Feel free to subscribe and add your comments. Here's to success in your projects and programs.